Hey there, guys. So, question on recovery and things that I do in order to speed it up. Before I go ahead, just hit like and drop a comment at the end of the video. It really helps. So, recovery, especially say for instance for bench press. So, if I'm aiming to bench, multiple times a week or train heavy multiple times a week, there are several factors that I take into consideration in order to really enhance recovery. One of them is something that a lot of people forget to do. It's incredibly easy, and that's simply sleep. You want 8 to 9 hours of really good quality sleep, and that will make a massive difference in terms of recovery. Ideally, if you want to get more specific, between 10 p.m. till say 6 a.m., they're the hours that you sort of want to be, asleep at. Um, you have your testosterone that will spike in the middle of the, sort of night. Your body also produces more growth hormone, and that's sort of the only time it makes a really, really big growth hormone spikes. You get a few smaller ones naturally throughout the day, but in terms of, being able to really heal, you're looking more at that, evening spike while you're sleeping, early hours of the morning. If you consistently miss that, you'll notice, recovery is a lot harder. Your cortisol levels over time will start to elevate, and just, once they've arisen, that just, hampers your ability to stay within an anabolic state. And simply, anabolic just means the ability to build up tissue. So, you want to have optimal testosterone levels and optimal, growth hormone levels just by sleeping. You want to give yourself the best that you possibly can. From sleep, the next biggest one is eating in a calorie surplus. So for me, traditionally in the day, I don't really eat a lot. First meal's 1 or 2 p.m. and I'll probably have 1,500 calories. So again, liter of high protein milk, 3 bananas, and 4 muesli bars to get my 1,500 calories. That's what I typically do. Then after training, you want to have, either your protein to help with recovery or just another meal. You want to try and force glycogen into your muscle tissue, because that's just going to help with, what your body needs in order to recover. Protein's important, obviously, but so is, your carbs. Your carbs are going to create an insulin spike. The insulin spike is going to help shuttle nutrients to your muscle tissue. So really having a post-workout meal works really well. People that are trying to avoid carbs, that's fine. Maybe avoid them earlier in the day, but if you're going to have them after training, as you will find that it will really help with recovery. The other thing that I'd look to do is doing a lighter training session in order just to pump more blood to the muscles that you just worked. So for instance, for me with heavy bench press, I'll typically now go and do push-ups, for example, and the goal is to pump a whole lot of blood into the area, and it's going to just really help with recovery, and really force my body to, I'm not going to say flush out, the chemical waste products that built up, because obviously if you go higher rep, you're still going to, be producing chemical byproducts. But it's just sort of more getting more blood into the area as a whole, especially after you've sort of finished training. You've still got more blood in the region. Your capillaries really had to, vasodilate, and then later on vasoconstrict. So basically, you're just pumping as much blood as you can into that region, because it's going to help with recovery. And then later on, you might, go and bench press the bar for a few sets of like 50 reps, just something really light. And the same principle again, this time though, you're really not trying to produce any chemical byproducts from your activity, but you're just trying to move more blood volume through that muscle tissue, because the more blood that gets into the muscle tissue, the more nutrients and other things it's going to bring, that is going to help with recovery. I'm not really a big one on stretching for, or in general for recovery. Just a little bit of mobility work is always great, but I'd probably lean that more towards the active side of recovery. The other thing you could do is simply go for a walk. You're going to be pumping blood throughout your body. Just elevate your heart rate a little bit, but the more total circulation you have going for you, the better you're going to sort of be from a health perspective. And that's another thing, like, if you look after your health and look after your, I'm not going to necessarily say cardio ability, but your ability to train a healthy body and a sort of fit body, they're going to be far more efficient at pumping blood around the body and allowing you to heal quicker. So basically, you look after your system and it's just going to help you with recovery. And that's one of the things you look at, like elite athletes or, field athletes. Anyone that has a really good cardio base and anyone that has really good just base fitness in general, they're always going to recover better. And that's simply because their body's, just pumping more blood around. They've got far more opportunity versus, if you're an office worker and you're sitting at a desk all day, you're not getting the same amount of blood flow throughout your body. Like it's nowhere near the same amount. So as a result, you're going to heal a lot slower than someone that's, a lot fitter and healthier. The other one I'd do is just try and reduce stress in everyday life as much as you probably can. That's probably the more difficult one. Because, removing stress and stressful situations, you can't always, get them out of life. It just happens. For example, I've got a little baby, he's 2 months old. I'm not sleeping the best. So obviously cortisol levels, spike and things like that. And there's just some situations in life that you can't avoid. But if you take the mindset of, look, if you can't fix it, don't stress about it unnecessarily, because if you can't fix it, well, don't waste the extra energy. If you have the ability to change something, by all means, go and do that. But, as I said, there's going to be some things that you just can't change. They're probably the biggest things for recovery. I'm trying to think of anything else apart from, as I said, if you've done bench press, finish off and, bench press the bar for a few sets of 50. You'd apply the same thing with squats as well. Just sort of any general movement of that body part or the limb that you've trained is going to make a big difference. So just keep that in mind when it comes to recovery. If you guys have any further questions, please comment below. Also helps for future videos and future ideas, because this was another Q&A because someone wanted to know what I do for recovery. If you guys haven't already, hit like and subscribe. Otherwise, have a great day wherever you are.